what is the foundation of your politics? Politics is not dirty. It is the art of the impossible. It is a noble thing to be involved in because it gives a person the sense of sharing their ideas and helping other people, not just helping themselves. Right? And many people in America or many other places, billionaires get into politics to help people. But in other countries such as Malaysia, people get into politics to become billionaires. So how does that make it? Does it make sense? Well, not just in Malaysia, but everything. Today I read in the news that Cairo is in chaos now. How could you let how could you let the leader be there for 30 years? How could you let the leader be there for 25 years or 22 years in Malaysia? Does not make sense. Let them be there for only 8 years maximum, 2 terms, and then let the people scrutinize everything that they do because they have offered themselves to be in public and they have to be scrutinized by the public. Because they are not there because they make money and they spend money to be put in power, but because the rakyat, the people voted them into power. But ironically and strangely, the rakyat is always now, is infused by this obedience to authority. Dr. Batkin also talked about yesterday the milligram experiment. I'd like you all to Google. There's a video on the Google standing milligram experiment. That is a classic study of obedience to authority. You don't ask a question, you just follow what other people say. Right? Ask the question, why do we have to do this? What's the logic behind this? Because this is the danger of authoritarianism, totalitarianism. Because we do not stop and ask, why are we doing this? Okay? Because asking questions can sometimes be not just irritating, but dangerous. Right? And second last, it's not just enough to be a thinker, but be a frontier thinker. Push the limits of your thinking. Yesterday, one of you asked a question, what is the limit of thinking? That is a very good question you asked. There's no limit to me. Whatever that you limit is what you limit yourself. And sometimes you do not have to limit your thinking. If you say that, I'm not going to think about this. Now, if you close your eyes, if you close your eyes for a second, don't ask me why I have to close my eyes. Right? Imagine there is no pink elephant in this room. Imagine there is no pink elephant in this room. Is there a pink elephant in this room? No. How do you know there is no pink elephant? I said, imagine there is no pink elephant in this room.
It is.
But what are you thinking? You're thinking about black, brown elephant or green elephant? You're thinking of pink elephant. Because I have thrown in the word pink elephant. Whether you say that this does not exist, it exists because in order for you to prove it does not exist, then again, back to Descartes, dualism. Okay? Cogito ergo sum. In order for me to understand exists, I have to understand that I doubt whether I exist. Only I doubt, then I step outside, then I look at myself, do I exist? This is the fundamental aspect of the beginning of thinking. So that, and break barriers. The reason why many of what you're getting now is scientific knowledge is because these people have done their job in breaking barriers. In the Copernican revolution, Galileo proposed that man is no longer at the center of the universe. Before that, they said that, well, the earth is the center of the universe because, again, man is created by God and man is so special that everything revolves around man. But Galileo said no. You know, the sun, everything revolves around the sun, and he was asked by the church to recant. Recant means to take back his words. How else it would be? He would be punished and killed for blasphemy and everything. This is one of the things that all of your science students need to read is Thomas Kuhn's The Structures of Scientific Revolutions. It talks about revolutions. Revolutions happen all the time. Right? Today we have revolution in Egypt, before that in Tunisia, and we don't know. Next 4 or 5 years, maybe. I don't know. Maybe in Malaysia, in many other countries. Nothing is changed except, nothing is permanent except change. That is what Lao Tzu said. Right? Never, because again, once that something is being pushed to the limit, then things will break. That is what scientific revolution is about. When so many questions are being asked, the paradigm can no longer hold, and therefore the paradigm collapses. The worldview collapses. Instead of saying that the earth is flat and the earth is round. instead of this and this and this, believe in 100 years ago, this is what it is, things change. And finally, all right, having all these things, knowledge and values and ethics, and be able to lead, then one of the things that need to consider is self-representation. This is more of how do you present yourself in any context, in any environment, including as simple as and more real and practical. How do you go home and present yourself so that you can get the job that you apply for? The job market is very, very tough now, not just here but also in Malaysia. Here in America, 10%, almost 10% unemployment. It's very tough. Many people have so much that they are bringing in the application process that even. But again, everything gets thrown out because it's very. It can be very good in your field, have many experience, but again, it's very, very tough. So one of the things is to have multiple skills. You're studying biotechnology and sciences, but if you get a chance, do something else also. Get a minor in something, or get a double major, something you can finish within the stipulated time that you're given. Because it's always the advantage that you bring to the workplace. It's always to be able to keep yourself, because by embarking upon all these things, all these minor certificates and all these things, you're adding and adding and adding, and not just for the sake of getting a job, but also it gives you a very broad base, foundation of what you are. All right, I think I have talked enough. These are the skills that we need, and again, just open this, let Dr. Bakri continue, and then we'll have more questions and answers. Thank you.
Thank you, Amir, for moderating the session, and thank you, Dr. Azly, for the informative talk. Thank you, Azmi, for moderating the session, and thank you, Dr. Azli, again for another illuminating talk. Was it Sukaro that once said that, give me 10 committed youth, and I will change Indonesia. Give me 100 committed youth, and I'll change the world. There's not enough 100 people in this room, so we can't change the world. But certainly there are more than 10 youth in this room, and more than 10 committed youth, so we can change the nation. So I'm hopeful that we'll go in with that kind of the topics of leadership. One thing to remember about leadership, that you cannot be a leader unless you have followers. So you have to, when you talk about leadership, you're also talking about the followers. I can tell the state of a country by the nature of the leaders. The leader of, you don't have to tell me that Hosni Mubarak is dictatorial, because I can tell from the Egyptians. I can tell for Americans, the type of American society we have, from the leaders. A leader is defined by the followers, as much as the followers define the leader. The leader of a physics department is very different from the leader of the political party. The leader of the KL Philharmonic is very different from the leader of Masjid. The leader of the Pittsburgh Steelers is very different from the leader of the student union. So and situations also demand a different kind of leadership. So if you can conceptualize a leader based not just in a vacuum, but based on the followers, a leader and leadership followers, and think in that tandem, it makes more sense. If you look at that, you can basically, I have defined leadership, a leader or leadership as being akin to wings of a plane. It defines the limits of the plane because of the wing. When the very first plane, when Wright brothers designed the first plane, what kind of wings does it have? It has the bi-wings, one wing on top, one wing on the bottom. That gives maximum lift, but also gives maximum drag. And that's good for that purpose, because the plane was going only about 80 miles